Welcome, everybody, to your Astrological Vision Board Workshop. I hope everybody is doing well. If you're new to my channel, well, I am Joshua the Psychic. My website is psychicsun.com. You can check that out for all of my services, be it a reading, metaphysical life coaching, gift certificates, parties, as well as horoscopes for the current lunation. So although this video is evergreen, meaning can be used, the information in it can be used anytime, any place, forever and a day. We're actually doing this tonight under the Lionsgate portal. It's August 8th, 2024, which adds another 8 to it, right? Because the cross sum of 2024 is also 8. So this is relevant not just in 2024, but it also is relevant in the future, and those future August 8th dates. Casmar, nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining. So we are under the Lionsgate portal, so that makes it a very special time to set intentions. So the Lionsgate portal is an annual cosmic event. Hello, Kelsey. Nice to see you. And it takes place essentially, there's a range, right? You're going to start feeling it, or you may have started feeling it around July 28th to August 12th. And it peaks today, if you're catching this live, on August 8th. And if you're catching this in the future, 2025, 2026, etc., again, it's going to be on August 8th is typically when it peaks. And it's named for the Leo constellation and the rising of the Sirius star. So these two energies come together, and it's a time for increased spiritual energy and manifestation. You could look at it as an opportunity for you to switch timelines, right? And the easiest way for you to switch timelines is to change your focus. And that's what a vision board does. A vision board gives you a direction, and it helps you to determine where it is that you're going. It keeps your eyes on the prize. If you were going on a road trip, for instance, you wouldn't be looking at the floorboard of your car, because then you're going to get into an accident. You're not going to get to where you need to go. You'd be looking ahead to the road. And the same thing with a vision board. It helps you keep top of mind where it is that you're going. And really, in a lot of respects too, the point of a vision board is for us to fall in love with our future and not romanticize or be still in love with our past, right? Because if we're in love with our past, we're not going to be able to experience new things. We're not going to be able to reach our highest potential, right? Because we haven't achieved everything that we want to achieve just yet. So a vision board helps you to keep your eyes on the future. It's pretty awesome. So an astrological vision board, just like any vision board, you can do it the old-fashioned way. You can grab your pieces of paper and your tape and your glue, or you can do it the more contemporary way, and that's digitally. I figure digitally is kind of the way to go nowadays. It's just easier. So if you're doing it physical versus digital, a physical one, you would have a tangible hands-on creation, and you use physical materials like a poster board, magazines, and cutting out glue. And that could be very fun for you. And you would actually display it in a physical space. You'd put it on your wall, etc. A digital one, you can use online tools to do it. You don't have to do Canva, but I think Canva is a wonderful internet tool. And I would advise you to just even get a free account, test it out. And if you like it, well, sign up for a paid account. I think it's certainly worth its weight in gold. And it's easy to update when you're doing it online. You can swap out one image for another. And it can be used as a device on your, a device wallpaper. So you can put it on your phone, setting your wallpaper on your phone, or a screensaver on your computer. And then it's going to always be there, because goodness knows we're always on our phones nowadays, right? And it becomes familiar. It becomes part of your atmosphere. And that is key. For all of your manifestations, you need to create the vibrational atmosphere that welcomes it. Like, say you're looking to wine and dine and romance somebody. You wouldn't have them come into a pigsty, right? You'd probably have the table set, and maybe you would light candles, and maybe you would have nice lighting, etc. You're creating the atmosphere for what it is that you want. Likewise, in terms of law of attraction, you got to create the vibrational atmosphere that is conducive to what you want. You want to see luxury around you if you want to create more luxury. You want to have positive energy around you if you want to attract more positive things. And the vision board helps you to do that, which is pretty great. And that will really be helpful to you when you're working toward your manifestations. So if you're doing a physical vision board, you need a poster board, magazine, scissors, glue. That could be a lot of fun. And if you're doing digital, you need computer, internet, Canva, account, etc. And your steps for creating your vision board, be it digital or physical, you got to set your intentions. I want this. You want to gather your materials. Maybe that's going through Pinterest or looking online for different images or cutting out your magazine photos, etc. And then you're going to select and arrange your elements, and you're going to finalize your vision board or display, save your vision board. And when you're doing a vision board, it's really helpful to utilize your astrological houses. So there are 12 houses in astrology, and each represents a different life area, and it gives you a framework for a comprehensive vision board, everything in your life. And it ensures all life aspects are considered. So if you're utilizing a vision board, say for a new moon, if you're catching this live, we had our new moon in August 4th. You could still do a vision board this week. I would advise it, especially during this powerful Lionsgate portal period. But when you're doing a wish list for a new moon, you want 9 items. You don't want to go more than 9. And it's ideal that you're going to utilize all 4 elements, meaning you're going to have some aspects on your vision board that correlate with fire, some with water, some with air, and some with earth. So your elements are balanced. Because when elements are balanced, that's when there's that magic, right? Everything in the world is comprised of those 4 elements. And if you have something in your life that's not working out, you're missing an element. So for instance, if you don't have the relationship you want, maybe you're missing the air element of communication or of socializing. Or if you don't have the money you want, maybe you're missing the emotional component you need in your work, that feeling state that allows you to flow, because that's what affluence is, a fleur to flow. So it really helps you to have the astrological wheel in mind. And we're going to talk about how you can do that. So the astrological wheel is pretty awesome. You should get familiar with this. And you start with your first house, the ascendant, and it goes counterclockwise, right? And you have your second house, which is your money, your third house, your communication, your fourth house, which is your home, family, emotional security. And we're going to go through all these, so don't worry if I'm going too fast. Your fifth house, which is your play, your creations, including your children, if you have any. It's also romance or pleasure, things that light you up. You got your sixth house, which is your routines, your work, your health, your day-to-day protocol, your lifestyle. You got your seventh house, which is your partnerships, personal as well as professional. You got your eighth house, which is other people's resources, intimacy, sex, death, taxes. You got your ninth house, which is the house of expansion. It can be about the knowledge that you acquire. It can be your life philosophy. It can be entrepreneurship as well. Then you got your 10th house, which is about your status, how the world sees you, including your passion, what you're known for and how you spend your time. Your 11th house, which is the love that you receive from other people. It has to do with your friends, your hopes, your dreams, your wishes, and your ideals. And then, of course, your 12th house, which has to do with your karma and your subconscious. And it also has to do with endings, things that you need to put to rest. And we're going to go through all of these and how you can utilize them for a vision board. So the first house is aligned with the energy of Mars as well as Aries. I always say first house first, because your first house, in addition to your physical appearance and the first impression you make, hi, nice to meet you, that's your first house. It's not your 10th house versus with the 10th house, it's how people see you by virtue of what you do, when the first house is just the first impression you make. And the first house is very important. I always say first house first because it's your perspective, it's your perception. And whatever it is that you perceive yourself to be is what you're going to get back. So the first house is most important because if you don't have something that you want, it's because you don't have a self-image that is aligned with that desire, i.e., you can't see yourself as somebody who's madly in love and happy in a relationship. You don't see yourself as somebody who's madly in love and happy in a relationship. You're not going to be able to create that. Or if you don't see yourself as having that potential, you won't be able to create that. So for your first house vision board, I would look at your personal appearance and see how you might want to make changes. You might have photos of, somebody working out or somebody who is in a really nice dress, whatever it is that you might aspire to be. It should be aspirational. And if you don't have any photos that show you what it is that you might want to look like, you could put words on that vision board: fit, healthy, strong, sexy, whatever it is. And the first house also has to do with personal achievement. So you can put, I am blank. And that is the most important phrase you will ever encounter, is the I am. So the I am is the first house, and you contain it all. You are the I am. And the cool thing about a vision board, it's a matter of where you direct your focus. Since you contain it all, if you say, I am rich, or I am in love, or I am healthy, that is very, very powerful. In fact, the phrase I am was once illegal, they say. You couldn't say it because it was so powerful. So be very, very judicious about whatever you put after I am, i.e., you would never want to say, I am sick. People do this all the time. They announce on Facebook, I am sick. I have long-term COVID. Why would you do that? You wouldn't. You shouldn't, right? You don't want to put anything after I am that you don't want to be true. So your first house for your vision board is the most important because everything that you're going to get in this world is a result of your self-construct, your personality as well, because your personality creates your personal reality. So think about who you want to become. Per Nietzsche, that's who you really are. And we're in a constant state of becoming, right? We're always evolving, ideally, right? So you want to think about your ideal personality because that's going to create your personal reality. Then after the first house, you have the second house. So this is your money house. It's the things that you have, movable possessions. So like your house, for instance, would be the fourth house because you can't really move your house very easily, right? And it's your values. And this house is very important because all happiness really is value fulfillment. And when you are achieving your values, you will be happy. So you could put on this vision board images of your financial goal. Maybe you have a car that you really, really like that you want to have. Maybe you want a Rolex watch. Maybe you could also put in your vision board a big pile of money. And we're going to show you examples of what this looks like. You could put symbols of wealth and abundance. Also, words representing your core values: health, wellness, joy, pleasure. Because again, whatever you focus on grows. And when you are looking at this vision board, if you know of Seth, the Seth material, the Jane Roberts material, the Seth material speaks about framework 1 and framework 2. So framework 1 is our conscious mind. I want a new car. Framework 2 is your subconscious mind. In the back of your mind, you say, I have a new car, or I'm going to get a new car. So it's essentially your subconscious. With a vision board, you're going to have that in your periphery. So you're going to then be able to get comfortable with it. Not only is it going to be conscious, it's going to be in framework 1, but it's also going to be in framework 2. And that's what you want, because you're going to get in life what you subconsciously believe you are a match to. So if you're constantly seeing this vision board and you see all this money, you're going to get comfortable with it, and it's going to naturally go into framework 2. Then you're going to take inspired action. You're going to go with your impulses, your hunches, and you're going to then land upon your desire. You're going to be able to achieve your desire. So the second house is really cool. It's good for money. It's good for your values and those things that you think might make you really happy. Now, your third house is like everything but the kitchen sink, including the kitchen sink. It rules communication, it's siblings, it's neighbors, it's your day-to-day comings and goings, where you frequent on a regular basis. It's also your mindset, how you talk to yourself, how you communicate with other people. It also, you could sum it down to communication, short trips, and siblings. Those are three of the main areas. So for the third house for your vision board, you could have images of books or learning tools, symbols of effective communication. You could even write, I'm an excellent communicator. You could have pictures of a short trip that you want to go on, right? And then you'd be able to plan it out with it already being in the back of your mind, right? If you have any desire to get closer with a sibling or mend fence with a sibling, you could even put your picture with them on this vision board with a heart around it, for instance, right? That's going to feed that relationship with that love energy that's going to help you communicate more. Now, the fourth house is very important too. It's an angular house along with the first house, seventh house, and 10th house. And the fourth house is very, very important. It is your foundation. It has to do with your home, your family, your roots, and your emotional security. It's what feels like home. And that is very tricky because sometimes home and what feels familiar, family, familiar, is not exactly what you want. Like if you were brought up in a lot of chaos, right? That's home to you. And you are going to probably put yourselves in situations that are highly chaotic because that's what you know. That's your context. That's what feels right. That's what feels familiar. That's what feels like home. So the fourth house for your vision board is very important because you want to allow yourself to create a foundation that feels good based upon your preferences, not necessarily what is familiar. What you have to do is you have to work on making the familiar unfamiliar and the unfamiliar familiar. For instance, if you're used to an environment or you're brought up in an environment that was very chaotic, you have to acclimate yourself to peace. You have to feel as if peace is okay. You have to feel as if peace, P-E-A-C-E, does not make you pray. Right? So the fourth house is highly important because what it's going to help you to do is create a new emotional foundation on which you can build new things. So naturally, throughout going out life, we naturally do this, right? Typically, when we start getting into relationships, we choose somebody who is like one of our parents. And that often does not go very well. And then we evolve and we say, okay, I don't want that. I want somebody like this. Right? That might be different from one of our parents, right? And that's a very, very natural process, but sometimes we don't ever really grow out of it. So you want to make sure that you're creating an emotional foundation, not based upon what is familiar, but what is preferred. So you could put on your fourth house for your vision board images of your ideal home. Maybe it's a peace symbol, your living space, what you want for your family goals, your relationships, and symbols of comfort and security. What's going to make you feel secure? Are you okay with peace? The fourth house has to do with support. I'll tell you, one of the most common questions I've gotten in my readings over the years are, does this person have my back? When they're talking about somebody else. And really, it's a matter of everything is going on internally and everybody is ourselves pushed inside out. So if you have to ask if somebody has your back, that's really not the question. The question is, do you have your own back? Are you able to make sure that you're safe and protected, irrespective of what other people are going to do? Because we don't have any control over other people whatsoever. So with the fourth house, you want to really get in touch with the divine mother, that mama bear part of you that's inside yourself. So if somebody doesn't have your back, you're able to intervene and protect yourself. So it doesn't matter whether or not they have your back, because you have your back and you're going to protect yourself. You're going to mama bear yourself. And that's what the fourth house is all about. Oh, I'm glad you think so, Casma. I'm glad you think so. So think about what's going to make you comfortable and secure and put that for your fourth house. Fourth house is very, very important. And then you got the fifth house. So once you get that level of emotional security and you're feeling at home within the self and you have self-trust, then you get to play. Then you get to have fun. Then you get to express yourself. So if people throw tomatoes at you, you just wipe them off, right? You wipe them off and you go about your business. So your fifth house is creativity and pleasure. It's your self-expression. It's your romance. It's your hobbies. It's your creations, including your kids, if you have any children. And if you want to have children, for instance, you could put a baby on your vision board. So ideas for your vision board here, you could put creative pursuits. Maybe it's a book. Maybe it's a painting. You could put romantic relationships. That could be really, really good. Anything that's romantic. Or symbols of joy and entertainment. The fifth house is about things that really light you up. And it's not really about partnerships so much as pleasure. It could be a short-term partnership like a fling or an affair or a lover, but the partnership realm is more of the seventh house. So if you have a committed partnership long-term, that's seventh. If you have an affair or a fling, that's more fifth. It's like your teenager house. What makes you feel young at heart and like a little kid. And your sixth house is when we get organized. It's our health, it's our service, it's our day-to-day protocol. It's what keeps our lives running like a well-oiled machine. So it's your daily routine, your process, your health, your work environment, what you do daily, day in and day out. So you could put on here for your vision board for the sixth house, health and your fitness goals, your ideal work environment. You could put the phrase, I love my job. And you can also add images that represent your desired daily routine. Your daily routine is really everything. And because what we do day in and day out, it creates our year, right? So your routine is really important. One of the things that you might want to do is make it easy on yourself. I'm going to get better at this. I'm going to do 1% more every single week, right? Or even every single day if you're that ambitious, right? Just 1% more. How difficult is that, right? So your daily routine is very important, and you can give yourself on your vision board. Maybe it's a calendar, maybe it's a pair of dumbbells, maybe it's a salad, whatever, that reminds you of what you want to have in your day-to-day life, what you want your lifestyle to be like. Then you want to do your seventh house. It's your committed relationships, your business partnerships, not just your spouse or significant other, but your long-term boyfriend or girlfriend. It also rules long-term consultants, one-on-one relationships like your business partnerships. Say you want the perfect business partner. You might want to get a picture of two people shaking hands with their heads cut off, right? So you can imagine yourself in one of their places. Maybe you want to fall in love. Maybe you're going to have a picture of a man and a woman getting married on their wedding day, or a limousine driving off with a sign in the back saying just married, right? Anything that refers to harmony and balance and partnership or business goals. You could have two people shaking hands, money are all around them, etc. And then your eighth house is transformation and shared resources. So this is the house that Scorpio rules. It's really about boundaries, those that you set and those that you dissolve. Think of sex. When you are having sex with somebody, you're dissolving your boundaries. There's a lack of boundaries there, and ideally it makes you feel good, right? Same thing if somebody is not honoring you, then you need to set a boundary. And you need to make sure that they cannot get close to you because you want to protect yourself. So the rule of thumb is if something makes you feel stronger and empowers you, well, dissolve your boundary and move in a little closer, baby, right? If something is making you doubt yourself, if it's undermining your emotional security, if it's giving you anxiety, if it's making you feel bad, for the love of God, set a boundary. Because if you don't set the boundary, nobody's going to set it, right? So eighth house is very, very important. The whole point of the eighth house is for you to get stronger through your boundaries, those that you set and those that you dissolve. And really, oftentimes when we're going through an eighth house transit or a Pluto transit or even a Scorpio transit, those things that are toxic are going to go bye-bye. So you might have a picture of a phoenix rising from the ashes for your eighth house if you're going through a transition. Say you're going through a divorce or a big breakup, or you're leaving a job and it's really hard for you to leave your job because you're very caring to your coworkers or your boss, etc. You could also, eighth house is also a financial house. So you could also have symbols of financial collaborations or a lot of money or very smart investments. You could have that line that shows how much your stocks are going up, stuff like that. And you can also have words that are describing your transformation, whatever it is that you're evolving into. You could say, for instance, I am so happy and grateful now that I am financially abundant. I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm madly in love. I'm so happy and grateful now that I'm emotionally fulfilled, whatever it is. But the eighth house is about the deaths that you go through. And even if you're transitioning to a state that is better, you still got to mourn the past, just like we were talking about with the fourth house. You might be really familiar with chaos, but you got to mourn chaos and let go of chaos and send chaos on its way in order for you to become more comfortable with peace without feeling like prey, without it feeling weird, etc. So it's a very empowering transit, the eighth house and house. In your ninth house, it has to do with your philosophy. It could be long distance travel, higher education, also entrepreneurship. So you could have pictures of Paris if you want to go to Paris, Berlin, etc. You could have books that you want to publish, or you could have a photo of a plaque that you get for your YouTube channel that has over 100,000 subscribers or whatever. You could have a picture of a diploma if you want to go to school, right? Or anything that has to do with your personal beliefs or life philosophies. For instance, you could put life is always working out for me, right? Or everything always works out for me. I attract only good things. I attract the best and the brightest into my life, whatever it might be. Then you have your 10th house, which is about your career, your public image, and your status. So you could have your career goals, your achievements. Maybe you have a trophy. Maybe you have an award. Maybe you see a certification of some sort that shows you've achieved this or you've achieved that. You could have, a picture of yourself in the newspaper. You could mock up something like that. Anything that really represents your professional growth and higher sense of status. Oftentimes it's awards, right? Anything that makes you feel as if you've arrived, which could be really cool. Oh, you love that? I'm glad to hear that, Kelsey. And then you have and also with the 10th house, by the way, you could also get specific. Say there's a specific job you want. You could put, director of marketing, number one host, whatever it might be, right? Remember, you can utilize your words on your vision board too. And for your 11th house is essentially the gains that you get from your status. So you do a good job, you're the best, you're excellent, and then you get the love from the masses, right? Love from the masses. Sorry, this is incorrect. It should not say transformation and shared resources. It should say community and dreams. I apologize. I'm going to blame Mercury retrograde for that. So it should say dreams, goals, community, right under here. So your 11th house is the gains that you get from your status, and it has to do with your friends, your groups, your long-term goals. For your vision board, you could have your friends, right? You could have groups of people that are of like-mindedness. You could have symbols of humanitarian goals. Maybe you're big on saving the lions or saving the whales or helping people in some capacity. And you can put in your long-term aspirations there. But the 11th house is essentially the love that you receive from the masses, the love that you receive from other people, oftentimes based upon your excellence, because the 10th house is your status and the 11th house is the gains that you receive from your status. So you could also, with the 11th house, it also rules big lump sums of money that you get in one fell swoop, right? So you could look at it that way, that you want a big payday, right? And you could put that on your vision board as well. And then finding your 12th house is your spirituality. It's your subconscious. It has to do with the hidden aspects of yourself. It has to do with karma. Oftentimes, this house is called the house of self-undoing. It's how we screw ourselves, quite frankly. So if you find yourself always getting into a situation in which you are either disenfranchised or taken advantage of, or, well, that's on you, right? That's a karma that you have. It's a story that you have in your brain, and you want to get rid of that. So you could create new symbols that talk about spiritual growth. Again, you could maybe have a phoenix and anything that really represents inner peace and any subconscious desires that you have. My subconscious belief is that I am worthy, or I am enough, or I am more than enough, stuff like that. And you could also, if you wanted to, put a soulmate here, right? The 12th house does have to do with your karmic connections. So you could, if you wanted to, put soulmate, right, for your 12th house. So let's bring it all together. You're going to arrange the sections based on house order or preference. And we're going to go into how that looks. And you may want to use your natal chart for this, your solar return chart, your transit charts, or even just the natural astrological wheel. You can just go through this if you wanted to and say, okay, well, what do I want? How do I want to appear? How do I want my body to look? How do I want my perspective to be? Your first house or your second? What do I want my bank balance to look like? What things do I want? What's the next watch I want for my watch wardrobe, right? And you can go around the wheel based upon what we spoke about with all those astrological houses. Now, another way you can do it is just based on preference. There might not be something in each house that you care about. But in this example, this person cares about their friends, right? And they want to have a really nice social life. So they're going to go right here to this group of friends, right? They're going to put that in their vision board. Or maybe they're really jonesing for a new job. So the 6th house here, they're going to have this picture, start new job. Or maybe they have a dream house in mind. They want to live in this gorgeous house and they want it set off by a swimming pool, right? And then they have that. Or maybe money is really important to them. So they're going to have a vision of money. So you can utilize any of the houses for whatever it is that you want. You could also, if you wanted to, utilize your natal chart. Now, you could go around your whole natal chart and really look at what matters most to you. In this sample chart, the person has a lot of energy in their 10th house, so their status might be important, right? But in this specific chart, one of the things that the person could do is go right to their north node. So say you don't really know what it is that you want, right? The smartest thing for any of us to do is to go to the north node. So the north node in your chart is sort of like your North Star. It's what you are going toward in this lifetime, by house as well as by sign. And if you don't know the time of your birth, that's okay. You can do a sunrise chart, and then that's going to help you determine, okay, this is where I need to go. The north node is not easy. The south node is like your ice cream sundae. It's what comes very, very natural to you. It's your natural gifts. It's your past lives. The north node is where you need to go in this lifetime. And it's like your spinach. It's not easy. You don't really like it. It's not very comfortable, but you need to do that. And honestly, if we all go toward our north node, we're going to be saving ourselves so many problems. We're just going to make life easier for ourselves. So one thing that you could do with an astrological vision board is look at your north node. So in this person's chart, her north node is in the 8th house and it's in the sign of Cancer. So what she might do to make it really simple is create a vision board or put on her vision board images of letting go and being one with the Divine Mother. Letting go being the 8th house that is ruled by Scorpio. It's the house of rebirth. And then Cancer is the sign of the mother, right? So if this person has her North Node in Cancer in the 8th house, what does she need to do? She needs to learn how to let go with ease, because she's not good at that, because it's her North Node. It's not going to be easy for her. And she needs to tap into the Divine Mother within. So she might get images of her letting go. She might get images of her feeling at peace, whatever it might be. And an example affirmation that she could say is, I let go with ease. I am one with the Divine Mother within. And if she keeps saying this because her North Node is in the 8th house in Cancer, well, sooner or later, her subconscious is going to say, well, I keep hearing this. I keep seeing it. It must be true. And it's going to let it in. And because her North Node is in the 8th house in Cancer, her life is going to be way easier. She's going to learn how to let go with ease, and she's going to be at one with the Divine Mother within. Otherwise, what is going to happen? She's not going to know when to let go. She's going to be holding on too tightly to things, which is going to exhaust her. And it's a fool's errand, because what we resist persists. That resistance creates tension in our bodies. It keeps the universal life flow energy from flowing through us. And if she's not in touch with the Divine Mother within, she's going to be looking all around outside of herself for people to mother her, to take care of her, even if it's men, right? And again, you cannot experience anything that you're not the vibration of. And let me tell you, you want to make sure that you're doing for yourself what you need for yourself. You just do. Because even if you find somebody that can be like that mother to you, for instance, they might go away. They might not act like they've always acted. They may die, right? So at the end of the day, you have to take responsibility for what you need in order to feel secure. You have to tap in to that Divine Mother within, that Divine Father within, because people are not always going to be reliable. You are reliable. And even though relationships are going to help you cultivate, a rich, beautiful life, at the end of the day, you are your own person, and everything falls on you. So you want to make sure that you have your back, that you're supporting yourself, that you're your best friend, that you're your own mother, that you're your own father, that you're your own lover. Okay? Because when you are really there for yourself, what you're going to do is you're going to attract other people that can be there for you. It goes along the lines of, when you don't need something, that's when you get it. When you do not need money, people throw money at you. You cannot get away from it. When you get into a relationship and you're happy, all of a sudden, people are knocking down your door trying to get a date with you. It is crazy. So make sure that you're filling up yourself with yourself, and you're going to be okay. Hello, sunflowers. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining. So remember that. If you can say, I let go with ease, and I am one with the Divine Mother within, you're going to feel fulfilled. You're going to feel emotionally secure, especially if you have the North Node in the 8th house in Cancer, like this client that we spoke about. So you could also do your vision board with transits. So for this client, she has a lot of energy right now for the Leo new moon in her 9th house. She has Mercury there, Venus there, and the sun and the moon both were in Leo. So she might want to create a vision board that is all about her expansion and all about her growth. So she might want to go to Paris, or if she wants to start her own business, she might have an entrepreneurship thing here, right? She also right now has Jupiter and Mars in her 7th house. So she might be like, well, Jupiter's the greater benefic. There's a lot of blessings with Jupiter. It's hitting my 7th house. Well, I may as well try to find the perfect partner. And then she might, again, look at this. She might create a vision board, a picture on her vision board with her and somebody else, or an image of a couple. She might, if you go to the 4th house here, and there's a lot of stuff here because what's happening in her chart, she has Saturn right there in her 4th house. So she's learning how to become emotionally secure. She's looking to become one with that divine mother, right? And that's the 4th house, whereas the 10th house would be the divine father. So she might put a vision of herself at peace. And, maybe because Chiron is hitting her 5th house and she has Jupiter here in her 5th house. So that's where she's going to make the most expansion. This client is going to make the most expansion in her life by having joy, by having romance, by having passion. And with Chiron there transiting, it's a little bit tricky, right? It's bringing up old woundedness. It's bringing up her lack of belief that she can experience joy. So maybe she'd have a picture of joy here for her, right? That's another way of doing it, via transits. Now, another thing that you could do for a astrological vision board, you could do it on your solar return. So every year we have a birthday chart. And you can even eyeball it. If you don't have your time of birth, you can do a sunrise chart and say, okay, well, this is the main theme for this year, the main theme. So in a solar return chart, the rising sign for your solar return chart, which would be over here, for this client, it's 22 Virgo. And that actually hits in her natal chart because 22 Virgo in her natal chart shows up in her 10th house. That means that this year for her is a 10th house year, meaning it is a year in which she's able to grow in status, where she can become more successful. It's about professional achievement. So the first thing she might want to do is put a trophy here, right? This could guide her whole year. This could be for her birthday. Meanwhile, look at what's going on in her 9th house. She gets Jupiter here. She might want to start her own business. She might want to travel. She might want to write a book. Right? And she wants to use that Jupiter. She's looking at this chart and she's like, oh boy, I got Jupiter right in the 9th house, very close to the midheaven, the 10th house cusp. So it could be about professional goals, right? And she has a very, very strong 1st house too, this solar return. So she might want to see herself really testing her limits physically. Maybe she has a picture of, her ideal body, right? Or what she's doing on a regular basis to get her that body. And then she also has the North Node in the 7th house in her solar return, which is the karmic direction for the year, and it's partnership. So she may want to have a picture of a man exchanging rings with a woman. And she could imagine herself in that scene, him putting a ring on it, right? So that's another way of doing it with a solar return. So it's up to you, however you want to do it. This is a solar return. This is a vision board, a digital vision board idea that you could do. That's everything. Okay. Here we have the Phoenix. So maybe it's a matter of the person's going through a rebirth and needs to let go of something that is not serving her. Maybe she wants to fall in love and wants to go on long walks on the beach with this beautiful man. Or maybe she wants to grow her hair out. So she has a chick with long hair here. Maybe she wants to have a tighter abdomen. So she has a picture of that. Maybe she wants a man who looks like this. She wants a man who looks really good and really strong and has a really nice 6-pack. All right. Well, there are plenty of guys that have that. So she should get what she wants. Maybe she wants health and she wants to just write it down here. Maybe she wants to write a book. Maybe she wants more money. Maybe she wants that beautiful house. So whatever it might be for her, she gets to create this and then look at it all the time and get familiar with it. So final thoughts on your astrological vision board. A vision board is going to work because you become comfortable or aligned with the energy of what you want. You're a vibrational match to your desire. So you're comfortable with it. You're seeing it all the time. You're seeing all of this money. You're seeing this colonial home. You're seeing the job, the trophy or whatever. You're getting aligned with it. You're getting comfortable with it. It's getting in your conscious, and most important, it's getting in your subconscious mind. So it's going to become very, very natural for you. It's going to be part of your atmosphere. It's going to be creating your vibrational atmosphere because what we focus on grows. So we get what we focus on. There's no other main rule. That's why vision boards are so practical. Just you want to keep front of mind whatever it is that you want. You never want to put too much focus on what you don't want because you're going to create that. So another thing with vision boards, which is so cool, you're going to be creating new memories. So the vision board, what it's going to do is it's going to help you to fall in love with your future life, right? Most of us, it's not that easy. We are coming from our context, right? When this happened before and this was really cool, right? So we're thinking about the past and we're putting that to the future. And that can be helpful if you want to replicate something. But let's face it, if the past wound up being really fulfilling and giving you all you desired, you wouldn't be wanting that necessarily again because it short-circuited or it stopped short. There was some kind of shortened force with that, right? Or you would have it. So what the vision board does is it helps you create new memories. And what I mean by that is, say on Monday, you're looking at your vision board. Well, on Thursday, you're remembering what you looked at on Monday. So you're creating new memories. So it's easier for you to create from the past because you're creating a new past, right? You're remembering that money. You're remembering that trophy. You're remembering the Eiffel Tower that you saw on that vision board. And then you're able to take inspired action, see if there's any deals at the your airline, etc., right? And that's going to be really, really key. So you want to fall in love with your future. You don't want to fall in love with your past because the past essentially didn't turn out the way you may have liked it to be, right? And you can create a better life based upon the future that you imagine. You always want to create from the field because if you're creating from your past experiences, you're limiting yourself. In order to get what you've never had, you have to be what you've never been. And most important, you're going to feel good about your desire, and then you're going to take inspired action. So all of this is wonderful, but you can't just create a vision board and do nothing, right? Very rarely is that going to work. So you're going to create a vision board. You're going to get it in your conscious mind. It's going to be in your subconscious. And then what's going to happen is you're going to feel better about your desire. Sure, I could get that trophy. Sure, I could go to Paris. Sure, I could fall in love. Sure, I could get married, etc. And then what you're going to do is you're going to follow your impulses. I think I'm going to go to the store. Or I think I'm going to go this way to work. Or I think I'm going to go out with my friend and see what she's up to tonight. I'm going to go grab a drink with her. Before you know it, you're meeting somebody at the bar, right? Or maybe you're decided that you wanted to go on LinkedIn and really check in with somebody that you haven't been in touch with. And before you know it, you have a new job. So when you're getting this in your subconscious, you're going to get these impulses and you want to follow them. The most important thing is to be in a good mood, in a good feeling state. You want to feel good about your desires, and then you want to follow your impulses, and then you'll be able to manifest. Right. And the big thing is, too, it's like you must be sort of detached. That's the weird thing. It's a sort of balance of energy. You have to be very, very intense. This is what I want. But then you got to let it go, because you're not going to be intense or antsy about something that you're confident in. So many people will want something so much that they push it away, because they're focused without realizing it on not having it or not getting what they want, as opposed to them having it already. You want to have an attitude of divine nonchalance. So practice that. Of course, you're going to get what you want. It's already happened. It has already happened. It happened in your mind, because your life is going to, and the end of the day, your life is going to be created by the pictures you paint in your head and the words that you say to yourself. So make sure you're painting pretty pictures and you're saying things that you want to be true. Because if you keep doing that over and over again, you're not going to be able to fight it. You're not going to be able to fight the achievement of your desires. It's just going to be matter of course. So I hope this helped you all out tonight. Does anybody have any questions or any questions at all about Lionsgate Portal or your vision board or anything like that before we wrap up tonight? Well, that's okay if you don't. Feel free to leave questions in the comments if you have any at a later date, and I'll be sure to answer them. And of course, if you're interested in any of my services, psychicsun.com, you can check out my website there, including your horoscopes for this lunation. Oh, you thought it was great, Kelsey? I'm so glad. Well, happy vision board creating, and enjoy this Lionsgate period too. Like I said, it was so funny. I've heard so many great things about this Lionsgate, but I've gotten so many calls today about people who have had bad dreams lately, like last night specifically. So it's like the reason why it might be a little bit intense is well, it's a rise in awareness that you're getting with this Lionsgate portal, and it may manifest as anxiety or overthinking or restlessness. So if you've been more anxious during this period, or you've had some bad dreams, like plenty of people I know have, realize that once the portal closes, it's going to bring you to a more powerful place of newfound purpose. So you're going to be okay. Oh, excellent. Yes, and I will see you tomorrow. Oh, he's having deja vu recently? Well, that's great. And I will see you tomorrow for This Week Astrology. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone, if I don't see you, and a wonderful Lionsgate portal manifestation time, and enjoy creating your vision board, and I shall see you soon. Oh, orange essential oil helps with dreams. You heard it here first. I'll be sure to do that. Definitely. All right. Take care, everybody. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.